Russell Simmons had Def Jam. I wanted my own label. I was looking up to Russell Simmons. I looked up to Berry Gordy with Motown. I just knew that I was a guy that if I honed my artists, and I had a lot of ideas and I wanted them to be with me as opposed to giving them to other people. I've been thinking like that from day one. So that was my motivation. And once I got it, it was just like a crazy world that I was actually putting out music and non-stop, just constantly coming with artists and thinking of artists and understanding what that means when you have a label. You get a label, you gotta put out the music. Just a love for, like I said, Quincy Jones. Teddy Riley was my biggest influence when I was growing up, and he was the youngest producer out. He was basically killing the game, and I just wanted to be like him. And he was producing so many different artists, and that I just took pieces of each one of these people's lives and tried to incorporate it in mine. Teddy had different artists he worked with. Brexit Effect Guy, Keith Sweat, Blackstreet, this person, that person, John. He was just working with so many people. And I was just like, okay, I need to do the same thing. I need to work with this person, this person, this person. And then when I did my album, I tried to make my album as like a rap version of Quincy Jones Back on the Block. So I just wanted to do records with so many different people. Like I want to do a record with this person, do a record with this person, and I want to do records with people that people didn't know. So when I did Money and the Thing with Jay-Z, I was a little bit more commercial than Jay-Z was at the time. So I felt like I needed to do a record with a person who wasn't as commercial as me to balance it out. And you know, I did the record with Jay-Z, and you know, people feel like I introduced him to a commercial world that he wasn't familiar with at that particular point in time. But it was just like, I was doing things that I thought, like I said, pieces from other people. I saw Quincy Jones do this with, you know, different people, and I was like, okay, I want to do my album like that. I'm creative enough and I'm talented enough to like do the same thing Quincy does. I'm not Quincy Jones, he's Quincy Jones, but I could, you know, I could do my own version of it. So it was just that was my inspiration. The majority of artists that come to me outside of So Def are people that want to work with me outside of it. You know what I mean? Like yesterday I got a DM from Austin Mahoney, and he's like, yo, I want to work with you, right? And Kehlani actually DM'd me like, yo, I want to get in the studio with you. A lot of these people are just, it's them wanting to work with me as opposed to me. My focus is always, you know, creating new artists for So Def. But if a person wants to work with me, then I feel like they understand that we could create a magic. Like Monica. Monica's not one of my artists, but from the first time that I worked with her, the first record I did with her was a #1 record. You know what I mean? So it's like, that means it's meant to be, I guess. You know? So outside artists that usually want to work with me first, that's when I work with them. You know, Usher was kind of like given to me because of his age. And L.A. Reid felt like I was the guy to work with kids and you could fix them. I didn't know if I could fix Usher, but that's how it was given to me. Jermaine, you should know what to do with him. He's young, take him, do what you want to do with him. And that's how it was given. It wasn't even like no plan or nothing. Just you take him and do what you think you could do with him. Nah, pretty much. I mean, if somebody said they want to work with me, I'll work with them. You know what I mean? All of them never really was like the biggest hit records. There's some artists that I wish I had hits on that didn't. Like, I got an opportunity to work with Aretha Franklin, and my record wasn't a big record for her. But I still got the opportunity to produce her, but I wish I would have created a better record for Aretha Franklin. Well, Slick Rick is my favorite rapper of all times. From the fact that how his jewelry looks, from the way that he talks, from the way that he story tells, and his cadence and how he flows was like the illest that I had ever heard. And then his mentality, his attitude about rap and about how he felt about himself. Like, I saw Slick Rick on Yo MTV Raps one day, and he was doing promo for his album. And he was inside this shoe store called the Bally Store. And I was watching this on MTV, and he was in the store with Fab Five Freddy, and Fab was like, yo, Slick Rick, we here, man. What's going on? And Slick Rick was like, yeah, we in the, I'm gonna give you my Slick Rick voice too. He's like, we in the Bally Store, and I'm about to buy all of these shoes. And then Fab Five Freddy was like, but we here to talk about your album. He was like, oh, you know, yeah, Great Adventures of Slick Rick, it just came out. You could buy it if you want to. If you don't, I don't care. And his arrogance was just like amazing to me. like I was like, this guy is the most arrogant person in the world, because he was just like, yeah, my album's out. You can buy if you want to. I'm still gonna be flying. I'm getting buy all these shoes. I don't care what y'all talking about. In rap, you need that. You know what I mean? You gotta have that. I don't like all this lovey-dovey, everybody loves everybody hugging. I'm not with all that. I like rappers that act like rappers, and they got like this whole thing about them, persona about them, and Slick Rick just had that. And then Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Jay-Z, Biggie, these guys are the Snoop Dogg, all these guys are heavy influences in my life. Snoop Dogg is another one that's got that same cocky mentality, where it's like, I don't know if you remember when Snoop first came out, he wouldn't even look at the camera, like he was just like shy guy, like just talking like this, and it was just like he knew where his music was. He didn't care what all the other noise that was going on around him. I love that type of attitude. I don't have that attitude, but these guys definitely, I just love watching them act like this.